What's going on, everybody? This is Rob Wilson, and welcome to RW Arts, RW Artstellations, Rob Wilson Artstellations, and Rob Wilson Arts, whichever one you prefer. I am your host today, and we're here to talk about The Last of Us, episode 2 review. Hopefully, everyone's had a great Monday. This is is this the last? No, we got one more Monday left in January. Today is the 23rd of 2023, double 23s. So that's what we got going on. Hopefully everyone's had a great weekend. Enjoying your Monday so far. I've had a very busy week. I got lots of stuff going on, doing training, personal stuff that most people probably don't want to hear about. So keep it at that. There was one thing. Oh, yes. Finally got a chance to finish my dad's book cover. That's sent to him, made him happy. I don't think it's my best work, but I completed it in the time frame that he needed it in. And, I'm excited to see his dream come to fruition. I'll probably share it later on Twitter with a watermark, because I don't just show my artwork like that anymore. And we know why. And speaking of that, why? Shout out to everybody that unsubscribes to my YouTube because they don't like me talking about AI art. Even if I'm sharing another podcast that's having a neutral discussion about AI art, it just shows that, folks can't handle the truth in this day and age. And that's fine, If you got guilt, you can't handle it, cool. Not everybody is meant to be, strong male, or a strong person to where one's words cannot affect them. So that is what it is, Anybody else that feels the need to unsubscribe, tell me who you are before you leave so I can go ahead and put you on blast. I'd love to do that, and let's just talk about the history of, subscribing. But for anybody that's here for the long run, that enjoys what I do and all the unorthodox ways in which I do it, great. I'll keep doing it. My schedule is kind of wonky this week. I'll probably try to add some, at least one highlight from Twitch. I do my art stream over there. And the rest is like my whole weekend's done. I got stuff going on with that toward the end of the week. So training. But I'm a digital artist. I do a lot of artwork digitally in that form, but I am not an AI artist. I want to make sure that that is specified and made clear. For that reason, I do not post most of my artwork on the regular. I do have a Discord now in which I'll be sharing some of my private art that way. But that's as far as it's probably going to go. I may show something that's already been bought and paid for, and it'll be a one-off, and I'll share that on Twitter. But showing progress stuff and all that, that's not happening. Not until there's an established understanding of AI art not stealing art from actual artists. So that's how I look at it. But yeah, I got a chance to see The Last of Us, the video game walkthrough. I watched a little bit of Rat Brat. I think I made it through about 4 parts. His first part of the walkthrough was about an hour, and then the rest of them were about 30 minutes. So I enjoyed it. It was like watching Resident Evil. I got encased in that stuff, and like I said, those kind of games I don't really play. They're going to find me jumping out of my seat 2 o'clock in the morning. But I don't even stay up that late anymore anyway. But to see that there is such a great correlation between the video game and the TV show, the HBO TV show, I think it's pretty awesome. I think it's absolutely awesome. They're off to a great start. Sony, the director, Mila Jovovich's husband, that did all those Resident Evil movies, definitely take notes. I think the best Resident Evil movie thus far is Resident Evil Apocalypse. That was probably about the most accurate they could get. And by the way, I have just shared my link tree. Feel free to find me on Linktree. The link is there. That has all my links, like from latest video, merch shop, comic shop, digital shop, Patreon, Twitch, my website, and Rumble. And like I said, things have changed, so I don't really post new art on my website. Um, my stuff is precious to me. You know, an instant gratifier may not find those things as precious because they can get it so fast. But it is what it is. So yes, um, based on the first episode, well, the beginning of the video game, and how it connected to the first episode of The Last of Us, I thought it was pretty interesting because, well, one, the main major difference I saw, of course, was they kind of half race swapped the main character's daughter. Died in the same manner. It's pretty sad and stuff, but most of it was fairly accurate. I was really surprised, and since episode 2 came out, I'm starting to notice a pattern. I was almost nervous at the beginning because they were showing, hey, infected, so we're going to show like patient zero, and they had this beginning in Indonesia. Of course, can't have it in China, where the spores had broke out there. The military is finding a lady that studied those spores or mushrooms or whatever, fungi, um, and pulled her from a lunch and had her do observations and asked for her best advice and expertise. And I thought it was really funny. She's just like, bomb this city, bomb bomb as many as you can, just bomb them, and that's what they said in the show. I'm not making threats. Just making that clear, YouTube. That's what was said in the show. So yeah, that little clip, I was like, oh, they're gonna spend a whole episode going over the beginning, but I was wrong, which is good. I prefer to be wrong than right, and just like in the first episode, they had like a little introduction, and the one guy, when they were talking about different pandemics and viruses, the one guy in the beginning, the other scientist, he was explaining, hey, what about fungus? We don't have any cures or anything for those. So that kind of paved the way, and this one introduction of observation of what was going on in Indonesia paved the way for episode 2. And as I watched some of the walkthrough, actually, I had just finished a portion where, you know, the lady that was hanging with the main character and the girl, they faced off against some formidable foes, and one of them got nicked, and it wasn't the one that was the miracle, um, patient or whatever you want to call it. I guess the golden child, so to speak. So because of that, um, she had to stay behind, and they made her, exit the most epic possible. Which wasn't bad. I almost thought, she wasn't going to be able to take out as many as she could, but it worked out. It worked out. It was a pretty heartfelt and gut wrenching episode in regards to connections and what they had to do in order to survive. And then we learned a little bit more about the spores too, or the roots, the mushrooms, however they're connected. They explain that it's messed up too. If you step on a root or something, they can locate you and know exactly where you are and send hordes after you, which is exactly what happened in the cathedral. I think that's where they were. The museum scene was very great. I mean, even where they fought those the blinders, the mushroom head ones, or whatever you call them. Um, I guess uh, not what are it, spoils or yeah, one of those mushrooms and fungi, spore heads, something like that. So I see they got rid of some of the zombies, and because when I was watching Rad Brad go through the game, you had to fight those first, and you fought the spore heads, the ones that are blind later on. But the the regular fungus zombies, they beat his ass literally. So he couldn't really do too much, and they switched that out, which I thought, okay, that's fine. And the spore heads, I thought they were pretty creepy, especially with their noises that they would make. They kind of remind me of like some of those odd creatures in Silent Hill. So I thought it was very well done. Seeing those case of events uh, go about with a few little twists, I thought very excellent done. Compared to what I saw in the game. So hey, this is off to a great start, man. I mean, we know that the obvious elephant in the room is that they do a season two. It's going to have the whole controversial you know LL love going on, and that show will be specifically about that. And so that's why I guess we're getting the best of it right now, because the parts that people didn't like or that was controversial in the second Last of Us is coming probably in season two. And unless they make some really big changes to that, which is going to cause the parallels between that and the video game to split ways. um, they're probably going to get probably a little bit of the backlash. They'll probably drop in some of their viewership, because I was hearing, that Last of Us 2, the way that that story went and what it was focused on, created a lot of issues. I believe even in Gamergate, I think Geeks and Gamers, Jeremy and all them, they were covering it as well. It was a really big hot mess. I think it caused a loss in sales too. So I never played Last of Us, but that tiptoed over into my lawn. It was so big of an issue. It tiptoed over to my lawn. It was just like, whoa, pretty brutal. So that is what it is. But hey, Last of Us, two episodes in, it's great. It's captivating. It kind of reminds me of how I was captivated with my homeboy that passed away, Jace Terrell, buddy of mine. He turned me on to The Walking Dead. We started watching the episodes, and we caught all the way up until the more recent episodes before the Negans and all that. And then every Sunday it became like a Walking Dead watch party. We go over uh, some girl's house and talk about some things and watch the show, talk about it afterwards and all that. And had a good time. Had food, drinks. It was pretty awesome. So I'm glad that The Last of Us was able to kind of rekindle that aspect of what I enjoyed with The Walking Dead. Because I mean, I don't even watch Walking Dead anymore. I have no idea what's going on since I got kicked out of the U.S. So pre-first deployment, because I was told I had mud on my boots, and after cleaning them, I was still told to get out of here, and I quote, end quote, that I had too much mud in the boots. So that was the last time I tried to watch The Walking Dead. Um, I was traumatized of being kicked out as a soldier out of the USO in Fort Hood, Texas. You know, but that is what it was. What it was. Uh, that series ended there, and I have not watched the Walking Dead books. I have not read the Walking Dead comic books. I think I got like one or two of them. They were like a gift to me. That's fine. You know, I haven't even read them, but to be able to watch the run throughs of the Last of Us video game, especially I think the way I saw it when the Rad Brad, he played through the game a couple of times, but when I watched it, he was doing the PS5 run through, and graphics look great, all that stuff. And for me, I'm not, when it comes to video games, I'm not too obsessed with graphics. I'm more into the gameplay. If I like the game, if I enjoy the game, I'm gonna play it. And that's the way it's, that's the way it is. That's the way it's going to be. Plain and simple. So to enjoy the video game, observing it along with watching the episode, that's a good little niche I can enjoy. You know what I mean? And I can enjoy a little bit of fiction that way because these days I got to focus on a whole lot more reality. I can't spend a whole bunch of time uh, swirling around and divulging into fiction. I got stuff to do. You know what I mean? So that's kind of how I look at it. And I know I received some invitations. I'm not able to be on JBot Art's Art Jam streams that he's doing that he did last week and this week because I got training. I got to be up early in the morning, and also miss Abra's celebration party on the 80s Mate Saturday night show as well because I mean we all got priorities as grown adults. I may be a child at heart, but hey, I gotta live with the reality of 40 years old. And when you're 40 years old and you living out on your own, you got your own place. You're not living in your mama's basement. You got priorities and you got bills and stuff to get done, and those come first. Same thing with those that got families. The families come first. And if they can make it, they can make it. So that's just it. That just is what it is. And always make sure the business gets done before pleasure. That's part of being an adult, and I wholeheartedly admit it. So I think yeah, that's pretty much it. That episode went by so fast. There's so many little nooks and crannies, and I'm sure there were people that probably paid attention to detail way more than I did. I was enjoying a delicious grilled salmon and salad for dinner when I was watching that. And next thing you know, I think the episode ended so fast. Now that I got it swirling in my mind, one thing I would say is once they did get into the cathedral and all that ammo and grenades and stuff was around, man, they should have loaded up. Straight up, they should have loaded up, man. They should have racked it up and freaking, been armed to the teeth and carried that stuff. Hell, the little girl, I would pack about 5 guns in her backpack alone. At least handguns or at least just ammo. You know what I'm saying? All they showed was what, grenades. And that was used obviously to take out the big horde that was swarming in. Yeah, I would have racked up. It didn't look like to me from what I saw that they were more concerned about the issues and hope and putting hope in the girl and noticing that people that got shot because one of them was infected were there, and it was tragic, and then their efforts appeared to be futile thus far. However, is what it is. I would have been like ammo. What other weapons they got? Grenades. Let me hook a couple. You know what I'm saying? Shoot. Who are you kidding? Them daggone things that freaking that those spore heads, man, if they would have jumped on me, I would have stuffed a grenade right down the throat. Too easy. Too easy, when it comes to survival. So I don't know why they didn't re-up as much as I think they should have. But somehow they'll get to some other guns. And yeah, that's the other thing I was trying to remember with the video game. I know they were trying to get to some guns, and the guns I guess were in the cathedral, but they got all blown up. What was the point of that? So we'll see what happens next. Um, I think some stuff got shortened because I know in the video game they were hiding from the military or law enforcement in the rain, and that was like its own little mission, but it was not there in the show. That was a very short scene. You know what I mean? So um, that's pretty much what happened there. Hey, what's going on, Von Coleman? There we go. How you doing, man? Said missed both episodes, but it was. Is it worth a watch? Yes, I think it is as worth watching as The Walking Dead was when it first started. I think that's a fair assessment. It's very little, very little that I have complaints about, and I normally like stuff that people don't like, and I normally don't like stuff that people do like. Um, I think the little girl is a little too mouthy for me, but it is what it is. You know what I mean? It just character. I don't think she was that mouthy in the video game. I don't recall her being that mouthy. The knife to the soldier when they were being checked, that was accurate. But all the FUs and FU man, I didn't ask for this, all that. I don't recall that being in the video game from what I've seen so far. Said glad to hear that. Love the first game. Yeah, I'm watching the Rad Brad his walkthrough. Like games that I don't play but I like to watch. I'll watch his stuff like walkthroughs of Resident Evil, Metal Gear, Last of Us right now, Cyberpunk. So I enjoy watching those walkthroughs to kind of like see the story and all that. And his stuff's pretty good. I think Rad Brad's been around. He's been doing video game walkthroughs since 2013. Damn. I can't even say I feel old, but I remember those days of the internet back when it was chill and free. You didn't have to worry about censorship. You didn't have to worry about triggering people, and then they unsubscribe to you because they can't handle the pain. I don't like what he's saying. Unsubscribe. It is what it is. The internet 20 what even 2008 internet was awesome. It was like free for all. Hey, it is what it is. Facebook was cool. Big discussions, big angry stuff. But yeah, that's one of the things that's interesting with The Last of Us, and that takes out some of those aspects. No phone calls, no internet, no cell phones, none of that. So it is what it is. I like it so far. You know what I mean? As I mentioned earlier, Vaughn, the elephant in the room, obviously is if they do a season 2, is it going to be based off of The Last of Us 2, which a lot of people were kind of, they were upset, over the whole LGBTQ themes in that video game. And that created a lot of controversy. So far, I'm savoring and enjoying it for what it is now. And I think it's off to a great start. The Last of Us episode 2, Infected, I think is a good continuation, good second episode. I know some people say you can't just judge a season off of the first episode and all that. But to have it on HBO, as I have stated before, it's a great filler and follow up from House of the Dragon, as that was completed. So in that aspect, I think the Bob, who is it? What's his name? The CEO of Warner Brothers. Not Bob Chapek, but well, you know the guy, David Zaslav. Um, I think he's made good decisions in that aspect. What's going on with that whole Justice League and James Gunn nonsense? I don't even care anymore because they just it's like digging up Bernie and expecting him to move again with his shades and mustache on. It's, you still gonna have to try to carry a dead body, basically. That's a joke, YouTube. That's a joke. So let's see here. Von Como said, I just straight up watched the second part, and my hate for the second game had nothing to do with LGBTQ. I just thought the writing and execution were awful. Okay. Yeah, I only heard about it in passing. I didn't know the full details, but it created a lot of controversy. I know Geeks and Gamers, they covered it, and they were talking about how the sequel lost money, um, or people were trading the game in fairly fast because they were done with it. So that's where that is. But like I said, enjoying The Last of Us for what it is right now. Um, Pedro Pascal, he does pretty good. He does pretty good for the character that is portrayed in the video game. I meant to say straight up, won't watch the second part. Yeah, I don't know if there's any point in me watching the second video game either. The manhood of the first game, I guess, is pretty much gone. So, what's the point? At that point. So, I think that's pretty much all I got. Um, for this one, not gonna be on here for too long. I got to work on some stuff behind the scenes. Um, I may live stream on Twitch. Do about a 30-minute art stream on there, possibly. Not a definitely, but maybe. Oh, and by the way, MGM Plus is a beast. I've been checking out those channels apparently, which are included in my cable, and they just keep rocking out hit after hit after hit after hit. RoboCop, RoboCop 2, freaking League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, just Skyfall, From Russia with Love, 007, just classic good movies. And I love channels that do that. So shout out to MGM Plus. That is out there. I am not subscribed, but I'm just saying. They got some good hits. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all I got for this one. Last of Us thing. Thanks for everybody that stopped by, which was Vaughn Coleman. Thank you, sir. Greatly appreciate it. And we'll chat more offline. Again, if you don't know where to find me, you can find me everywhere, starting with one link. Just like the spores have underground roots, you can find me on Linktree. And that is link, linktr.ee/RWARTS. One S. But, I got to emphasize that. Just that way no one has any trouble spelling that. But, hey, I'm everywhere. If you're part of my inner circle, you'll know what I do. You'll get a chance to see some of the stuff I work on. But as for the public, hey, blame it on the AI because they're screwing it up for everybody. So it's only going to get worse. It is what it is. Oh, yeah, I have to do a movie review of Plane also. I think I'm going to do that tomorrow. Already got my notes set for that. That's ready to go. Great movie, but I'll definitely do a review. I think there aren't any more movies left worth watching that are very decent on in the month of January. Next up, we got Cocaine Bear, Ant-Man, and Quantum Mania. We'll see what that's about. But yeah, I'll keep making these because I like movies, regardless of who hates them. I'll watch it. I'll get inspired or take lessons from their mistakes. So that is what it is. Y'all take care. Stay chilly. Peace out. I'm Rob Wilson, and I'm out.
It's the width of the crossbar that denied him a second.
Careful.
You think ambushing me in some nightclub's gonna stop what makes people take drugs? This country spends $100 billion a year on getting high. And it's not because of me. All that time I was wasting in jail. You know, it just got worse. I'm not your problem. I'm just a businessman.
Is this true?
Yes, it's true. This man has no dick.
When you have an electric vehicle, then you're also going to be able to save on gas, but you got to be able to afford it.
Or any menstruating person in this country cannot make decisions over their own body.
Even limit their ability to get gender affirmation treatment in their state.
It is now my distinct honor to introduce the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of the United States, John Roberts, to administer the presidential oath to the next President of the United States, Joseph R. Biden.
The significance of the passage of time. So when you think about it, there is great significance to the passage of time.
And by the way, you know, I sit on the stand, and it get hot, I got hairy legs. And the kids used to come up and reach in and pull and rub my leg down.
You got more questions, but I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, and you ain't black.
You've been patient, but our patience is wearing thin, and your refusal has cost all of us.
Great again. God bless you. I love you.